Hello class, my name is Isaiah Pisala. I'll be presenting on the 2002 New Zealand film Whale Rider, directed by Nikki Caro. The film centers around a young girl whose twin brother dies during childbirth. Her twin brother was expected to be the next chief of their village in New Zealand, and her father, in his sadness, names her the name that he was going to give to her brother, which is Paikea. Paikea is an ancient Maori hero who sailed on the back of a whale to where this tribe currently resides and is sort of the main god of this tribe. He has godlike abilities, and with the name Paikea that she ends up growing up with, she feels called to become the next chief, which is forbidden because a woman cannot be a chief in Maori culture. So she ends up getting into this drama and sort of seeking her purpose with her grandfather, who is the current high chief, and her father sort of excludes himself from the family and goes and lives overseas. So the story centers around her trying to fulfill her destiny to become chief, while everyone else is trying to keep her from this destiny, whether it be her grandfather, her father's absence, or the young boys that she grows up with at school. So I'll now play the trailer of this movie, and then I'll explain the religious symbols in the movie after the trailer plays.
A long time ago, my ancestor Paikea came to this place, on the back of a whale. Since then, in every generation of my family, the firstborn son has carried his name and become the leader of our tribe.
Her name's Pike.
Pike? No. Not that name.
Until now.
When she was born, that's when things went wrong for us. That's where we'll find the answer.
At this year's Toronto Film Festival, a remarkable film won the People's Choice Award.
It's not Koro's fault, Nana.
No, it's not his fault.
And received an unforgettably emotional response.
That I'm a girl.
From the novel by Witi Ihimaera
My name is Paikea Apirana.
Go on, bub.
comes a film that will move you,
Why doesn't he want me?
He needs a prophet.
challenge you,
I'm sorry.
Broken!
and change you.
Don't mess around with sacred things.
Sometimes, the leader you are searching for is already among you. Whale Rider.
As seen in the trailer, there are many religious symbols present, including the whale. Paikea, the character, calls out to the whale several times throughout the movie due to her connection to the ancient hero Paikea, who rode a whale. She feels that there's a connection there. Her tribe worships whales in a way, and she just really wants to be able to embody the hero Paikea by calling out to the whales and connecting with them and hoping to bring a good omens that her grandfather can visibly see in order to allow her to become a chief and do the chief training. The chief training itself is very religious with a lot of cultural depth to it, which is why I think that this movie would be a good addition to a religious studies and movies course. The chief training includes several things like the taiaha, which is the Maori spear. It's a symbol of leadership as well as being able to defend your people and defend yourself. She picks up the taiaha by watching the other village boys going through their training, and she sort of learns how to use the taiaha using a broomstick. And there's a small clip in the trailer that you might have missed right before she apologized. She beat one of the boys in a fight where both of them were using a taiaha. Which ended up getting the young boy in deep trouble. He was essentially expelled from the chief training. There's also the whale tooth. Koro can be seen wearing a whale tooth around his chest, around his neck. And this whale tooth is carried on by each high chief in the village, and it's handed down to each high chief as the older high chief sort of moves out of their season of leading. The whale tooth was thrown into the water. There's this brief clip in the trailer where you can see it sinking. Koro threw it in the water, and whichever boy, it was the final test, whichever boy could come up with the whale tooth and give it back to him was meant to be the next high chief. So there's a lot of depth there, and connection again to the whale. The Waka, which is the ancient Polynesian canoe that they sail in, it was started by her father and her grandfather. They started building one, and she sees the Waka as something that can get her and her people united once again. So her father comes to visit. They don't work on the Waka, but when he comes to visit, it's sort of a symbol that's more covert in terms of it being something that needs to be picked up again by someone with the chief title. So with those religious symbols in mind, the movie actually ends with whales being beached on the shore just outside of their home. And with this, Koro sees it as a bad omen, when really it is a symbol of the whales coming and sort of dying with the ancient way of only handing the chief title down to a male. So when the whales are beached, Koro sees it as a bad omen, where Paikea sees it as something that she needs to help with. And the movie actually ends with her mounting a whale and it taking her out into the bay, and she rides it. And this seals Koro's view of her as he being wrong and he needing to hand off the high chief title to her because she did all the things that the boys couldn't do. So I hope that you watch the movie Whale Rider 2002. It is free to watch on Peacock, and I believe that it should be included in a religious studies in movies course in the future. Thank you.